Testing. Better. Yes. Shalom Israel, Shalom Abashim, Yahshua, thumbs to the brothers, Shalom Yahweh, Shalom, and God, Bashim, Yahshua, to the sisters. We at the Isupk Israelite School of Universal Impact in Milestone on the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. Right. We teach that all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of the Western Hemisphere are God's chosen people. We are the true biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of. And that Esau, who you would know as today as the Europeans, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right, so we're going to be continuing throughout Genesis. If you can follow along throughout Sabbath service, we go through Genesis. We go 49 verses each Sabbath class, 7 verses in the Hebrew, 7 verses in the English, and then repeat. So today we're going to be starting from Genesis chapter 14, verse 7. We're going to be going all the way to Genesis chapter 16, verse 10. Okay? All right, with that being said, my name, which we used to say, is my brother here.
Yahshua, which means to Israel. Which means to rise and face the east. We'll be doing the prayers in the Hebrew and then the English. Starting with the Lord's Prayer. Abanao. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Awalabaka. Daba'a. Atazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Baratazah. Kawa. Ayah. Bashmayim. Medanana. Become. Call. You want. That's a lot now. Come and watch now. That's a lot now. Come and watch now. Wala'a. Abiyah. Love. Unside one. Ball. Awashai now. Bayan. Right. Kayah. Become. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'atapa. Aman.
Now in the English, our Father,
which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh, thy kingdom come.
Will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us our debts, and let us forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, right forever. So be it. Amen. This is the power of Yahweh.
Outside, Yahweh.
Basham, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh, please give us power. Power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, power to cleanse the leper, power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirit, cast them out. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it. This is bless Israel, Yahweh. Hashem, Yahweh, Barak Lanah, Wayashal, Wahab, Bayah, Safari, Barak, Hashem, Yahweh, Aman.
We just said was Lord. In the name of
Yahweh.
Bless us and Israel.
And
the school.
In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Ayanya, all, Orion, Mayan, Yaba, Zoya, Ain, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayo, Baratza, Ayakan, Nawat, Wazarku, Ayalum, Shamarka, Lana, the Yalum, Wala, Yashan, Shalmar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Wazarku, Ayat, Yamika, Yawam, Hashmash, La'ah, Wairak, Layla, Yahweh, Yashmark, Call, right, Yashmark, Pash, Howard, Yashmark, Taz After, I will love.
Now in English. I will lift my eyes to the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
Whence cometh my help?
I will come from the Lord.
My help coming from the Lord.
Which made heaven
And earth.
even I suffer thy foot to be
Even I suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth
Thee,
not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
He
that keepeth Israel.
that keepeth Israel,
shall not slumber,
not slumber,
nor sleep.
nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy
The
shade
Lord is thy shade
upon thy right
on
hand.
thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee
The
by
sun
day,
shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by
nor
night.
the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee.
The Lord shall preserve thee
All evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy
The
going
Lord shall
out
preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in
This time forth,
from this time forth
and
even
forevermore.
forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Higher.
All them yalaka.
All the middle of
All
God.
that's a rush.
All the
All that's quiet.
All the
All.
all.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Amna.
Ana.
Awayat yaka.
Awayami.
Yahamani one.
Yamaya one.
Ra'ash. Al-Ayimaka. Ya'awa. Ya'awa Yamwa. Sawada. Walaka. Ya'atazawa. Al-Tazapawanya. Mamara. Lakawa. Wanakaki. Makari. Wala'a. Yalakar. Shem Yashala. Awada. Kaya. Yawatazawa. Waba. Yakali. Ali. Baria. Yakabakwa. Ahoy. Alawam. Wa. Yashima. Alayam. Malaba. Gariam. Gabal. Wamawan. Wamalak. Alashab. Amishab. Hazawar. Wamashawar. Nalawa. Amam. Ayawa. Warawa. Bunya. Wat. Salas. Aisha. Laham. Mike. Kasaya. Sara'as. Kayaka. Balakar. Yashwan. Shabawat. Bayan. Yara. Haywa. Daman. Ladama. Shadamu. Nada. Yamawa. Kaiba. Kazabu. Kazabak. Kazabana. Kaunas Yakinwa. Sharp. Amara. Nairo Shah. Nanawa. Dawa. Alahayam. Alahayam. Shadamu. Gagla. Quash. Lapanya. Ash. Yairu. Wakalaba. Kalahat. Ariam. Khan. Dapma. Bas Iru. Wabasa. Pop. Dabalam. Mala'a. Panyaham. Walawan. Waya. Quash. Shamka. Yahawah. Bashu. Waya. All. Waya. Parva. Waya. Bagwa. Waya. Dawa. Haya. Shamka. Yahawah. Bakwa. Ayuan.
Psalms 83 in English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O God. For lo, thy enemies
They get told.
they that hate
you.
they have lifted up their head. They take crafty counsel.
They'll take counsel
Against thy people.
and
consult
with
thy people. Against thy hidden one.
They have said,
Come,
let
us cut them off.
us cut them off.
Be in a
Being
nation.
a nation.
The name of Israel.
The name Israel.
No more remember.
Maybe no one remember.
They have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
They
They are confederate against
are confederate against
the tabernacles
Tabernacle of
evil.
and Israelites.
Moab.
And Agri.
Baal.
And Ammon.
And
Amalek.
Philistine.
With
the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Saul also.
Also is joined with them.
They have opened the church.
They are open the children of light. Salat.
Do unto them.
Do unto them
As to
the median,
as to
as to Syria,
as to
as to Japan, and
So,
the sun,
which perished at the
those
door.
perished and endured.
They became his dumb for
They
them.
became done for the earth.
Make their nobles like a
And
red.
the nobles like a red,
Like to eat.
and like to eat.
Yea, all their princes.
All the princes
As a Bible.
as a Bible,
As a
and
woman.
as a woman
Who said,
said,
let's take
let's take
ourselves.
to ourselves,
The house of
the
God
house of God,
in
in
possession.
possession.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
Make them like a
make
wheel.
them like a wheel.
As stuff before
As
the wind.
stuff before the wind,
As fire burning
and the
wood.
fire burns the wood,
As the flame set the
as
mountains
the
on fire.
flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute
them
with thy temper.
with thy temper.
Make them
Make
afraid.
them afraid
With thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their faces with
Fill their
shame.
faces with shame.
Let me seek
That
thy
they
name.
may seek thy name.
Oh Lord, let them be
Let
confounded.
them be confounded
In trouble.
and trouble forever.
Yea, let them be put to
Let
shame
them be put to shame
and perish.
and perish.
And men
That
may know
men may know
that thou,
that thou,
name
name
alone,
alone,
is
Yahweh,
Yahweh, the
art the
Most High.
Most High, over all the earth. The blessing in the Hebrew, Barakatah Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? Why my Aleph? Why Laham? Mataz Yah? Alawak Yahana. Alawak Yah. Asawanyan. Akwata Zayon. Asayon. Yahweh. Awasam. Shai. What up? I'm
Bless you, Yahweh.
bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Mike.
And Mike.
Angels.
And angels.
Manager in your home.
Generals.
Generals. Captains. Officers. Troopers. And assistants.
And
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
And then Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
Thank you. So be it.
So be it.
All right, you may be seated. So, if you're just not tuned in, we'll begin reading in the Hebrew. Please know our Latazah. We're going to read the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. There'll be 7 and 7 and 7, so on and so forth. 49 verses. And then we'll get a breakdown in the English. So we're going to be starting Genesis chapter 14, verse 7. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe.
7 to 13. The book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 7. Wayeshua, Wayaba All Ayan, Mashapat, Awa Kodash, Wayakawa, Akar, Shada, Ha'aim, Lakwaya, Wagam, Hamaria, Wayeshab, Bacha, Tazatazan, Tamar, Wayataza'a, Malak, Saddam, Wamalak, Amara, Wamalak, Adama, Wamalak, Tazabayayam, Tazabayawanyam, Wamalaka, Bala'ai, Hawa'a, Taza'aiwa, Waya'ara Kuba, Adam, Malafama, Ba'amakwa, Shadayam, Af, Kadar, La'amar, Malak, Ayalam, Batada'al, Malak. Oh, sorry. Ayalam, Batada'al, Malak, Gawayam, Wa'amar, Malak, Malak, Shanarab, Wa'ariyawak, Malakah, Malak, Alasar, Araba'ai, Malakyam, Ha, Kamashah, Wa'ankwa, Hashadayam, Ba'ara, Kumar, Wayan Sawa, Malak, Saddam, Wa'ain Rata, Waya, Paul, Shema, Wahan, Sha'arayam, Hawa'ah, Nasawa, verse 11, Wayakwa, Kawa, Ata, Kal, Rakash, Shaddam, Wa'aimara, Wa'ah, Akalam, Waya, Lakawa, Wayakwa, Kawa, Abdawat, Yeshad, Basadam, Wayba'awa, Hapalayat, Apalayat, Apalayata, Wayagad, Wayagad, La'amaram, Ha'ai, Wayub, Wahawa, Yeshad, Basadam, verse 13, last verse, Wayba'ar, Hapalayat, Wayagad, La'abaram, Ha'abariyah, Wahawa'a, Shakan, Ba'alanayah, Mamara'a, Ha'amariyah, Ka'ayawa, Ashakal, Wa'a, Ka'ayah, Anor, Wahama, Balayalab, Bariyah, Abaram.
Sorry, Grace. A couple people over here, the trooper Tabalam, Christ got one. Hush. Also, a brother in Atlanta, Shalom Christ.
Okay,
All right. A lot. We got a couple people here. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, so now we're going to begin Genesis chapter 14, verse 7 in the English.
And they returned and came to in Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazazon Tamar. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zabaim, and the king of Bala. The same is Zoar. And they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Shadar Lamar, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Eleazar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Shittim was full of slime pits. And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there. And they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Verse 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Ishcal and brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram.
So, is there anything you break down before we go?
Really not a breakdown, just giving you a backstory of what's going on. There is a war. There's always been war. People think World War I, World War II, World War III are the first wars. There's always been war. You look at the history of the world, there's always a war. This particular war is 4 versus 5. There's a king of Elam, and then he's going up against Hamitic nations. There's 5 Hamitic nations, and there were other Hamitic nations that were with the king of Elam. Who does Elam come up under? Shem. This is a battle of supremacy. That's what war is. Your whole life is built on war. Your whole life is built on a battle. Your whole life is built on supremacy. What do you choose to do? You choose to cow out, or do you choose to go to war? The only way you can see how tough you are in any condition is to what? Is to go to war. So what we're seeing a recorded war in the Bible, in Genesis. People always often ask, why does it have to be this way? Because that's what life is. Life is war. Life is 1A, 1B. You choose, you decide what you want. It's life.
And if I could, real quick, I just want everybody to take note of what this brother's talking about. Life is warfare. Today is no different. Just like things are not new under the sun, right? What was then is now as well. We're in war. I know a lot of us, we have become complacent because you go to your 9-to-5, see your family, do little hobbies, whatever, and you probably think you're not in warfare. Well, the thing is, you are in warfare. As we speak right now, there's mass genocides that are still being committed all around the world. One of which are our Levite brothers and sisters, Haitians, right? They're still under Edomite supremacy. You are still under Edomite supremacy. Why? I'm gonna just give it to you straight. We lost the war.
Right.
Why did we lose the war though? Because we did not have the Lord on our side.
Right.
Because we decided to disobey the Lord. We wanted to do what everybody else was doing. And yes, we are a mighty people. We are God's chosen people. But without God, we are nothing. That's why we're at where we're at now. I mean, not even just now. You could read all throughout the Bible. In the book of Acts, it talks about the Gentiles. Right now, these Gentiles are not talking about heathen nations. That's usually what we're talking about when we hear the word Gentile. But right. A Gentile is also an Israelite that has been Hellenized. They've been made Grecian. Same thing when you hear of black people today being called American. Same thing when you hear Native Indigenous people being called Hispanic or Latino or Native Indian. These are all Hellenized names that we were forced to adopt, or bywords you should go by, which has been told in Exodus when we were in Egypt. We're going to go by bywords. It's all because of warfare, right? Now, the thing is, the war not over. Right. I hope y'all understand that, not to be too long-winded, but the war is not over. Esau knows that his days are numbered. Right. So he's doing everything he can to keep his foot on top of us. Because he knows once he decides to let his foot up and we start to wake up and understand, like, man, this is real messed up. Right. You start wondering, like, why am I paying taxes? Why am I doing that? Why is it that my people are always in jail? Why is it that I have a friend that was sentenced to 20 years to prison for weed? Meanwhile, there's all these other nations out here who are doing coke and God knows what. They run around scot-free. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that we are currently in warfare. And like you said, this has always been a thing. It's not a battle of flesh. It's a battle of spirits. There's always a different type of spirit trying to conquer another. We're supposed to be at the top. Not right now. You got something?
I do. I see.
All right. But that's all I got.
The book of Genesis, in the Hebrew, the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 14 through 20. Waya Shamai, Abaram, Kaya, Nashabah, Akaya Wub, Waya Rakwa, Ah, Kanayaka, Yawa, Yada Yada Yub, Bayat, Bayakwa, Shamana, Aishar, Washalash, Ma'awath, Wayar the Pa, I, the Na, Waya, Ka'a, the Kwa, Al Yahum, La Yalub, Hawa'a, Wa I by the Wub, Wayakum, Wayar, the Pum, I, Ka'awaba, Ashar, Mashama'al, the Dum Shaqua, Wayashab, Ab, Kal, Hawakash, Wagum, Ab, Lawat, Ab, Ka'ayawa, Wara Kashwa, Ashiyab, Wagum, Ab, Hanashayam, Wa'ab, Ha'ain, Wayat, Taza'a, Malak, Saddam, Lakara'ah, Ka'arya, Shawab, Baha Kawa, Ab, Kadarla Amar, Ba'ab, Amalakayam, Bashar, Akwa, Al, Amakwa, Shawa, Awa, Amakwa, Amalak, verse 18, Wamalakya, Tazadak, Malak, Shalom, Abatat, Hawa, Tazayah, Lakum, Wayayan, Wahawa, Kahan, La'ar, Ayuan, Wayabarak, Hawa, Wayamar, Warawak, Abarum, La'ar, Ayuan, Pana, Shamayim, Watazah, verse 20, Warawak, Ayuan, Ashar, Bagun, Tazah, Wayad, Dak, Wayadan, Lawa, Mayasha, Ra, Makal. This book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 14. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. If I may, he didn't even think about it. He didn't even think about it. Like, sometimes you need to process information. No, you don't, you in war. Right? And I don't have time to be thinking. I have to already know what to do. That's a battle. While you sitting there trying to think and react to what's going on, you should already been training yourself to be able to react in this situation, or be able to defend yourself in this situation, or be able to attack in this situation. We're not just talking about war. We're not talking about physical war. We're talking about spiritual war. You got to know, like, this is happening. What should I do? My brother is down. What should I do? You should already been trained yourself for that. I see how Satan attacking me. How do I fight back? I see what's going on. How do I attack? I don't have time to think. You got to know right then and there what to do. While you sitting there taking your time trying to figure out what to do, he on the path of destruction. You're lagging, and that's what we are. We are lagging as a people. You ever playing a video game and you moving behind the speed of the game? You lagging, and you gonna die. You're gonna get shot. Some sniper is shooting, and you don't know you dead yet. You already dead. He been seeing you because you're lagging. Well, that's you in life. That's Israel in life. We are behind the 8 ball. When you see gentrification, that's been playing 100 years ago. They started playing that 40 years before they put the Starbucks in the neighborhood. You slowly start to see the Starbucks. You slowly start to see the Target. You slowly start to see the Sprouts, the Whole Foods. You slowly start to see the prices go up $50, $20, $100. Gas go up 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. Then next thing you know, your whole neighborhood getting wiped out. Next thing you know, you got some devil running around your neighborhood at 5:30 in the morning talking about this good running up. Next thing you know, there's some devil next door to you telling you to turn your music down. Next thing you know, police start slowing up. Police response slows up. Red line. The school system don't have updated books. And by the time you see it, it's too late. Because we lag as a people. When you don't have to lag, when the Lord is telling you everything that's happening and what's going to happen. So you should be what? Prepared. It's like,
no, well, if I could just add on, like, you're right, like, we are lagging behind as a people. And again, it's because like we don't serve the Lord. Like these other nations, I know some of y'all are like, why do all these other nations get to do that? It's because they're not God's chosen people. Sorry to tell you, we're special. We gotta serve the Lord and prosper. I hate to break it to you. But that's what we gotta do. Right? The other nations, they figure out their way. That's their way. It's like, that's their way. Their way is not our way, though. That's our problem. We're always worried about what's on somebody else's plate rather than worry about what we got going on. Also, if I could, I wanted to highlight what you brought out about Abram, right? Abram did not hesitate to defend his nephew.
Right.
Like he knew that that's my nephew. I have to do what I have to do to save him. Like you said, there was no hesitation. We sadly we don't have that type of instinct today. With a lot of things, you got to understand something. Your oppressor studies you.
Right.
Like, y'all do understand that, right? Like I know, like it might not seem so evident because you don't see them every day, you don't interact with them every day. They have studied you to a T,
Right.
which was smart. They studied their enemy. We don't study our enemy. I think now you hear about it a little bit more, but they've studied us. That's the reason why we live in a culture now where, you know, you got black man versus black woman, right?
Yeah.
You got blacks versus Hispanics. Even though we were conquered together, and you know, before they started intervening, we was cool with each other.
Sure.
You know, natives, a lot of natives. Look, natives helped us out. We fought. We used to fight with Native Americans to get Europeans off of their land. We used to flee to Mexico.
Yes.
Mexicans took us in. We were all family.
That's an underground railroad.
Yeah, but guess what happened? Esau got involved and said, you know what? I can't have them together.
Right.
Because if they're together, if the southern and northern tribes came together, we're going to lose. So what do? Classic divide and conquer, which is still implemented in today's society. That's why you go on social media, and social media is like toxic. I don't know about y'all, I got to take breaks.
Yeah.
It's you know, you see it like it's the same stuff. It's the same pot. What's that dude name? Fresh and Fit. That's
he's a loser.
Yeah, loser. I don't even know if he won. I don't think he is one.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's from.
I think his. I don't know if it's his mother.
He from over there.
He's something. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care if he is one of us or not. Dude is a loser. Right. He's arguing with women who are not of white material.
Right.
But then trying to justify what he's doing. Because it turns out he's still buying prostitutes.
Literally.
Like matter of fact, I think it was not that long ago. Wasn't it his friend? He got
pregnant.
Yeah, he got like Asian chick pregnant.
Yeah, and told her to go get an abortion because he
She
didn't
ain't
want
gonna
to
do it.
Why would you have sex with somebody that
You see, but like you said, like if I could real quick, we're so far behind. We still have conversations about what should a man and a woman do in the
That's
household.
so stupid.
But the thing is, we have those conversations because they infiltrated, it destroyed our foundation. So now we're trying to pick up the pieces. What should a man do? What is acceptable for a man? What is masculinity? What does it mean for a woman to be feminine? What does it mean? Or what does it mean to be a strong, independent woman? We have these conversations. Guess what? They're not having these conversations. Them Indians, they got their role. They know. They'll come over to this country and they'll work together. It'll be like 6 of them in the house. Come on. They'll work together. Man, look, the wife is cooking and cleaning and working. The husband working, doing his duties, making sure things are ran in that household. He's in charge of his household. Don't get it twisted. These white folk, they're doing the same thing. They're ahead of the curve. We're behind because we don't serve the Lord, and nowadays we hesitate. We've been pacified. Can't be like that forever. It's like you got something. It's all that.
What was that? 15. And he divided himself against them, and he and his servants by night, and smote them and pursued them unto Habah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. This is crazy. Like, when you start really reading it, this guy, think about me trying to save somebody's life. Don't think about him saving a life physically. Think about when you're really trying to save somebody's life. In the scriptures, you're really trying to save their life. You're really trying to, hey man, get off the crack. Hey man, the Lord say this, the Lord say don't do that. The Lord say you can do this, you can't eat that. Think of that in the third, right? He did it with no hesitation, no doubt, just went and did it. And he had some men with him. You understand what's happening here? He has some people with him. They trained up in his house. They following him. Whatever he say, they go and do. This is a theme throughout the Bible. Like we was just saying, if we love one another, we are in unity with one another. They can't beat us. Esau cannot, and he cannot have us come together. Because when we come together, this is what happened. He brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot,
and his goods, and the women also, and the people. This is what happens when, as a group, when two or more are together, you go out, you stand united, and you say, I'm going to save my brother's life today. You win. You win. Verse 17. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Sharadallah Amar, and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shabbat, which is the king's there. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. That is why you always see us with bread and wine, because we are priests of the Most High God. Verse 19. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. That's heaven. And blessed be the Most High God, which have delivered thine enemies into thy hand, and he gave him tithes of all.
Again, it just said, and blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. Remember when I said earlier, like, we're nothing without the Most High. The reason why we have lost so many wars and we're in the state that we're in now is because we didn't obey the Lord. Guess what? But Abram obeyed the Lord. So what did the Lord do for him? I'm going to put it to you like this. Yes, Abram did win against them. He rescued all those people, including Lot, right? But I'm going to dig a little deeper for you. He didn't just win. The Lord gave that to him, right, if you're picking up what I'm saying. Because without the Lord, Abram would not have been able to do that. He would have lost. He probably would have been captured, or he would have perished with him.
Right.
It's like, that's all I'm saying.
And if I may, think about, what was it? Genesis 14 and verse 20. And he gave him tithes of all. Do you really understand what tithes are? I don't think you do. You pay taxes, don't it? Tithes are just taxes. You pay taxes to who? You pay taxes to the government. And what should the government be? The government should be an entity that's for the people. That is why you pay tithes. That's why you pay the Levitical priest tithes. That's why you pay the priest now tithes. Because we are an entity for the people. We are for the people. Now, the reason why you hate paying taxes is because your tax money doesn't go to what you need it for. Your roads are destroyed in the street. There are more murders than anything, unalivings than anything. There's more crime than anything in these streets. Your neighborhood is unsafe, but you're still taking 30% out of my pocket. My school system are not equipped with the tools that my child needs to be a productive member of society. And I'm taking 30 minutes out, 30% out of my check, every check. That is why you have a problem with taxes. But let me tell you something. Pay your tithes, because we are for the people. This is why you tithe. Will a man rob God? Who is God for? You. So you should pay him his 10%. That's all he requires. He could be greedy. Say, give me 90. And you keep 10.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But anyway, that's all I want to touch on tithes right quick. Blah, blah, blah. What we at? Did we finish that? So 21. All right. We're going to do Genesis 14, 21 through 15 and 2. Alright. One for the 21. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 21. Amar, Malak, Idam, Al, Abaram, Danal, Laya, Alapash, Waha, Wakash, Kwaka'a, Lakar, Amar, Abaram, Al, Malak, Idam, Awayam, Ka'aya, Yaluya, Al, Yahweh, Al, Yawan, Kuna, Shamayam, Wa'aratazah, Amah, Machwat, Ba'ai, Shariwan, Na'al, Wa'amah, Akuka'a, Bakal, Ashar, Laka, Wala'a, Da'amar, Anaya, Ha'ai, Shawaya, Lata, Abaram, Bala'aya, Zakwa, Ashar, Akawa, Ana Arayam, Wa Kalakwa, Ha'a, Lashwam, Ashar, Alakwa, Aya, Ainor, Ashakal, Wamamara, Ya, Ka'a, Wa, Ka'a, Laquam, Genesis 15, Akar, Hadabarayum, Ala'a, Hayah, Debar, Yahweh, Al, Abaram, Wama, Ka'azah, La'amar, Al, Ayra'a, Abaram, Anyaka, Bagan, Laka, Shakarat, Arba'a, Ma'ad, verse 2, Waya Amar, Abaram, Adanya, Yahweh, Ma, Tatan, Laya, Wanakaya, Hawalak, Ariyarayam, Waban, Mashat, Bayatya, Hawa'a, the Mashat, Aliazar, verse 3. Waya Amar, Abaram, Hana, Laya, La'a, Lata, Tayat, Daha, Zara'ai, Wahana, Bun, Wayatya, Yawarash, Adya. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 21. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the person and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich.
If I could, that's right. That again show like, okay, there's a reason why Abram was called the Most High's friend. There's a reason why the Most High favored him so much. It's because of his character. It's because of his integrity and how he conducted himself in very extreme moments. Like, you gotta understand, like, there's a moment right here, right? He was promised something by the king of Sodom. All right, now you gotta think the king, right? Riches, probably has all types of belongings,
Right.
Everything carnally that a man might want.
Right.
Now, when this was offered to Abram, guess what he said? He said, I don't want nothing from you. Not even down to a shoe latchet. Like, I don't want a drawstring from you. I don't want nothing. Because, and it says, in that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich, meaning what? Abram did not want to owe a debt to this man.
Come on.
He didn't want this Hamite to have some type of pull on him.
Right.
Which sadly, a lot of y'all do in the world. All right. You want to know why a lot of these celebrities get so famous? Because they're doing something strange for a piece of change. All right. Whether if it's part of the LGBTQ community or they just let somebody run their life. They owe somebody. Like, when you see them, keep in mind they are people. I think sometimes we get too wrapped up in the glitz and glamour of things, and y'all start idol worshiping. Sloppy. I'm just calling it for what it is. These are people. They're no different than you. The only difference is they got some makeup put on them and they're on the TV. That's all it is. They're an employee. They work for somebody. That's all it is. And you got to think, a price comes for that fame. A price comes for that money. And eventually it all comes up. Y'all hear all these different stories all the time. This person was doing this.
Right.
You know, Diddy. Diddy, we've been knowing about Diddy. R. Kelly. Come on. Who else you got? Who else been like, just been shown out for all types of weird
You
stuff?
got Tyrese out here.
Tyrese.
You got Jamie Foxx out here. I've seen Kevin Hart in dress.
Oh yeah, Kevin Hart. Yeah, a lot of it's a lot, right? But they all had to do something.
Right.
And now, yeah, they got all this money, they got fame, yeah. But they owe somebody. They work for somebody. They owe a debt. Abram don't owe it. He didn't want to do that. Because he knew what was going to happen. He accepted something from this heathen. That's all I got.
Verse 24. Say only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Anir, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. The book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 1. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. How do you get there? How did Abram get there? How does one get the Lord to protect him? Psalms 91. The book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. How does the Lord protect you? How does the Lord become your shield and your buckler? It's truth. What is the truth? Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. It's the same thing over and over and over. Whenever you see great men in the Bible, what do? They trusted in the Lord. How do you know they trusted in the Lord? They did what the Lord told them to do. In any situation that they was ever in, they just served the Lord. That's what they did. When we was out there in the wilderness, and we said, hey man, we're gonna put our trust in the Lord, but we hungry. Guess what the Lord did? Send bread from heaven, the mountain, sweet honeycomb bread, send quails. We ate. You're not understanding what serving the Lord does for you because you're so carnal. Because you're so carnal, you think what you see, you think that's what it is. When it's truly not. When it's truly not there, man. What you see is a farce. The Lord is putting things in your face that you don't understand what is there. And it makes you go off. It makes you not trust in the Lord because you tell yourself, I can get it on my own. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. You cannot. You can't get it on your own. You can't get it without the Lord. Why don't you just serve the Lord? Black people have been doing it on their own for the last, since the beginning of the Bible. Hispanics been doing it on their own since the beginning of the Bible. We've been doing it on our own. And where has it gotten us? Nowhere. Or somebody stepping on our neck. I hate going to work and knowing it's a devil over me. I know I'm smarter than this devil. I know I am. But this devil is over me. That's okay. That's okay. I just serve the Lord. I just serve the Lord. I know sooner or later that devil's going to be underneath me. He's going to be underneath my foot. She's going to be underneath my wife's foot. She's going to be pressing our grapes and making our wine and getting us drunk. That's what she's going to do. Slide. Verse 2 of Genesis 15:2. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus. Verse 3. And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. Book of the book of Genesis chapter 15, verse 4 in the Hebrew. Wahana, Gabar, Yahweh, Al-Yawah, La'amar, La'ah, Yahirashar, Zahah, Zayah, Zayan, Bashar, Yataza'ah, Mama Ayat, Awa'ah, Yahirashar, Wayabat Taza'ah, Atawa, Haka'ah, Watazahah, Waya Amor, Habat Na'ah, Hashamayamah, Wasapar, Akah, Waya Kayabyan, Amah, Tawakar, Lasapar, Adam, Waya Amor, Lawab, Ka, Yahweh, Tawa'aiwa, Waha'aman, Waya Hawaya, Hawa, Waya, Ka'ash, Abba, Lawa, Tazadahwa, Waya'ah, Aliyawah, Anya, Yahweh, Ashar, Hawa, Taza'atyat, Ma'awar, Kashadyam, Lata, Laka'ah, Ha'arataza, Haza'ah, Larashata, Waya Amor, Adanyam, Yahweh, Bama, Adai, Kaya, Ayarashana, Waya Amor, Aliwa, Kwaka'a, Laya, Aga, Laka'a, Masalasha, Wa'aizu, Masalasha, Masha, Wa'ayar, Masalash, Wador, Wagawazar, verse 10, Wayakwaka'a, Akar, Allah, Wayabador, Adam, Batwar, Wayathan, Ayaz, Batwa, Lakara, Wa'ayahayu, La'ai, Hatazapar, La'ai. The book of Genesis chapter 15, verse 4. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, this shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. If I could real quick.
Actually, no. Keep going.
And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness.
So, okay, pretty much what I'm going to get at, right? Again, Abram was able to reap the benefits of all his fruits of labor because he followed what the Most High wanted him to do, and he believed in the Lord. Now, this is a man, very righteous man, right? But, you know, he's sad, right? He was sad. Why? He was sad because he did not have an heir. He had no children. Remember, y'all heard this account many times, right? The account of Abram and Sarai, before they were Abraham and Sarah. One of the biggest obstacles that they had was they could not have children for a really, really, really long time. And it really got to them. It got to a point where, you know, Sarah, she told him to go into her handmaid, Hagar. And, you know, put it like this. She wasn't happy about it, but she loved her husband so much, it was like, you know what? I can't give you a child. So go into my handmaid. Maybe she can give you a child. Right. But the thing is, the Lord had other plans. We'll get to that later. The point being is, this is a man who really wanted an heir. He had a steward in his house, but that's a steward. How can I put it? It's like find in the Bible. It's like a possession, like a servant in a sense. He served Abram. So let's say if he didn't have a son and he passed away, pretty much his steward would gain the inheritance because that's really like the only person left. You didn't want that though. I don't think any man really wants that. You want your son to inherit what you did, right? Well, pretty much the Lord said, look, don't worry about none of that, all right? You keep doing what you're doing. You are a very righteous man. And I'm going to make sure that not only do you have a child, you're going to look at the stars, count all them stars. That's going to be your seed.
Right.
This is going to be many nations that come out of you, which of course leads to his name, Abraham, which means father of many nations. So,
verse 6, and he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Here's what the people out there fail to understand. They fail to understand what counts, what you do for righteousness, and what they do is not righteous. What did Abram do that was so different than everybody else? You gotta understand, Abram comes from a lineage of men that serve the Lord. But those men, they're far and few in between. So Abram has cousins. We clearly see Lot is his nephew. Abram has brothers. Abram has sisters. He has family members. But there's something that Abram did that no one else in his generation was doing, which is why the Lord picked this one man. I'll show it. And this is something that we do. When you really think about what you've done to be in here and to stay in here, you've done something that nobody else can do. The book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 29. Matter of fact, I'm starting at verse 28. Matter of fact, I'm starting at verse 26. And then they were astonished out of measure, saying among themselves, who then can be saved? And Yahushua looking upon them said, with men it is impossible, but not with God. For with God all things are possible. Then Peter began to say unto him, lo, we have left all and have followed thee. This is Peter. This is his right-hand man, Simon Peter. He said, we left all. Nobody else was serving you. We're the only people on the face of this earth. Us 12. 10 and Mark 10 and 29. Okay. Peter had a family. You had father, mother. They had siblings. They had cousins. And guess what? They all believed everything that everybody else believed. They believed in the Sadducees and Pharisees. They believed in the religious leaders at the time. Just like you, just like us. My family believed in Christianity. But they really don't believe in Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Your family believes in Roman Catholicism. Your family believes and Muslims or whatever it is. I don't know. What is the actual term
For which one?
like Muslim? What do they believe in?
They're just like Muslim. They like the Quran.
I don't even know what that thing is. Islam. Yeah, Islam.
Yeah, Islam. Yeah.
They believe in that, even though it's 30 different sects of Islam. There's some guys who will blow themselves up. There's some guys who believe peace. It's crazy. Just like Christianity, you got Baptists, you got a Pentecost, you got all these different things. Seventh-day Adventists, you got Jehovah's Witnesses. It's all under the same umbrella of the Roman Catholic Church, right? Now, Peter and them, the 12 that was walking with Christ, here's what they're saying. Hey, man, everybody we know believes in this. We've been going to church our whole life. Our father been teaching us this. We've been listening to the Sadducees and Pharisees our whole life. But we know that you are the Christ, and we follow you. We've given up everything, right? No, we have left all and have followed thee. Verse 29. And Yahushua answered and said, verily I say unto you, there is no man that have left house or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake and the gospels, but he shall receive 100-fold now in this time, houses and brethren and sisters and mothers and children and lands with persecutions, and in the world to come eternal life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last first. Meaning this, right? It don't matter if you've been here for 30 years and Christ comes back, and it don't matter if you've been here for 30 days and Christ comes back. If you went here and you forsaken all that stuff, you're gonna get everything the Lord told you he was gonna give you. This is why this is so hard. You wonder why this is so hard? Because don't nobody else believe it but you. Here's the difference between us and the Christians. Christians don't give up anything. No one has a problem with a Christian. No one has a problem if you're a Catholic. No one has a problem. You have to respect everyone's religion. No one has a problem with your religious beliefs, quote unquote, until you're one West. Until you say blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people and we are better than you, no one has a problem with it. Everyone will agree with you that everybody is equal, though we know everybody's not equal. You don't forsake nothing. You haven't given up nothing. You haven't given up food. You haven't given up friends, family members. You haven't been scolded, scorned, none of that. So are you really following Christ? It's a billion Christians out there, and they're not, no one's telling them anything. Everybody is praising you if you're a Christian. Everybody loves a Christian, but everybody hates me. I don't eat pork. How do you hate me? I'm telling you to get off drugs. How do you hate me?
You wanna know why? If I could.
Yes, sir.
Wanna know why? It's because their spirit is with you.
That's it.
This about it goes back to like the warfare that we were going over earlier. It's just warfare, it's spiritual warfare, right? Nobody has problem, if I may, nobody has problems with a Christian, right? Because a Christian is just a dressed up sinner. You just pour some holy water on yourself. You was a hoe before, now you're just a wet hoe. That's all it is. You was a pimp before, now you're just a pimp, but now you got a suit tie. You was I can't say the other one. You was part of the rainbow community.
Right.
Now you just come to church on Sundays. You haven't changed. You haven't, in here you have not changed. You just dress a little nicer.
That's it.
That's why nobody got a problem with a Christian. Nobody got a problem with a Muslim. Nobody got a problem with the Pope, which is crazy.
He's like little boy.
And then he's famous for that. Every Pope is known for that. But no one says anything about the Pope.
He's literally known for sucking a baby's rod. I think I can say that.
He's was it fellatio?
Yeah. Giving oral fellatio to a child.
Do you remember STD?
And herpes. And he is still praised at the Vatican like he's just holy unto God.
And no one says
that's great.
anything.
If anybody touch my child, it's over. It's over. If anybody touches your child, it's over. You say that, but not this dude.
He can touch your kid. You ain't gonna do nothing to him. You ain't gonna like, and that just shows a reflection of who you are because you probably suck babies right. Or you probably want to. So you probably live curiously through him. You don't have any self-esteem.
Come on.
You like, okay, I'm pretty sure anybody who's been in school long enough, y'all seen them brothers doing street interviews, and this is my personal favorite one. It's very short where they ask you, oh, what's your favorite race?
Right.
And Or what race do you not like the most? Or something like that, right? And you'll see a few, it'll be like some black people be like, oh, I don't really care for white folks like that. Okay. See some Hispanics, I don't really care for white folks. But then you see the black people that's like, oh, yeah, I don't like black people.
That is crazy. This girl.
And it was a brother that said that too. I know which one you're talking about. But that just shows, again, what's going on in here. You're black, but you hate black people. So, of course, when a black person tells you that we are God's chosen people, it's blasphemous.
It is blasphemous.
You laugh at the idea like, what? No, we're not. Because you hate us because you hate yourself. We tell some Hispanics, you're God's chosen people. They look at you and laugh.
No, you're crazy.
Like, what are you talking about?
God loves everyone.
But if you tell them angels are white,
with wings coming out their back, with a flying golden basketball hoop over their head, rim up, they question nothing.
you see like all the iterations of heaven, and it's like angels, they all white.
They're all white.
All of them. I ain't seen not one other type of person. So I'm like, so you mean to tell me? So you're telling me when we pass away, we're all gonna go to heaven
And be white. And be white babies blowing trumpets and singing. That ain't no heaven I want to go to. That sounds gay. I'm not going there. I refuse it. Yeah. Send me back right here.
Apparently, we're not welcome there because we ain't there.
Clearly.
So where do we go?
Clearly.
You get my point? That's all I got.
Like, we're stuck right here.
Yeah. It's crazy. It sounds crazy when you break it down, but
I got to die to become a white baby.
a white nigga baby.
A white man baby with wings. So I'm an X-Man. So I'm a mutant. I'm a mutant now. I'm a mutant.
That's what's gonna happen. When we all pass away, we all become white naked babies. Wings fly around.
And a golden basketball rim above your head.
You might get a robe.
Yeah, come on, man.
You might get a loincloth.
Or a loincloth. Yeah, clearly.
That
With your baby shoving this. Like, come on, man. Do I grow up? Do I age? All I see is babies. What are we talking about?
But it sounds crazy because it is crazy.
That's what they make you think.
But like you said, you'll follow that.
You'll follow that. Dude, you know what's funny? I was telling my wife, I was just like, I think day before yesterday, we was driving, I was like, it's a weird thing, but you gotta really hear it. You gotta train your brain to hear it. When you ask a black person, do they love black people? They always say, I love everybody. You have to train your brain to hear what this man is really saying or this woman. They don't love black. They cannot say, I love black people. And if they do say it, it's preference with, or it's, or the second or the add on to that is, yeah, I love black people, but I love everybody. Like they have to, it's ingrained in them, it's instilled in them to treat everybody equally. When you just so at the bottom, it just makes no sense to anybody with a brain. It makes no sense to anybody that's free in this world. You haven't forsaken this world, so you can't understand it, you can't see it, you agree right with them. When it's false. Everything you ever believed in is a lie. We're telling you the truth. We're telling you you're better than everybody else. And you look at us like we've lost our mind. That's okay. You'll follow. Come on, stop. Go back. Fly. Baby. Genesis 15 and verse 7. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said unto him, take me in heifer. It's like verse 8. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? Verse 9. So he's asking the Lord a question. Where shall I know I'm going to inherit this place? Verse 9. And he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Verse 10. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. You got anything, sir? Let me see. Let me see if I want to bring this out. Matthew 15. Well, I got time. I got some time. I'm gonna do Genesis. I want y'all to remember this part. And he took unto him all these and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. Remember that part, because the next part after this is heavy, and I'm gonna need you to really understand what is happening. Right? We're gonna do Genesis, the 15th chapter, 15, 16, 17, 11 through 17. Look at Genesis chapter 15, verse 11. Wayawada, Hayata, Al, Apargayam, Wayashabatham, Abarum, Wayahayam, Hashamash, Labawa, Wathar Nama, Napala'a, Al, Abarum, Wahana, Ayama, Ka'ash, Shaka, Gadala, Napalata, Tayub, Al Yawab, Waya Amar, the Abarum, Yadai, Ayah, Gar, Yahawah, Zara Ikub, Ka'ar, Ba'aratazah, La'a, Lahum, Wa'abadawam, Wa'anawam, Athum, Arabai, Ma'awat, Shana, Wagum, Hagawayub, Ashar, Ya'ai, Badwa, Dana, Anakayub, Wa'a, Ka'aryum, Kun, Yatasa Awab, Barakasha, Yadawal, Wa'ada, Dabawa'a, Al, Abak Yakub, Bashar Wama, Dakwabar, Basha Yabasha, Tababa, verse 16, Wadawar, Rabbi Ya'ayub, Yeshawabar, Ana, Kayub, La'a, Shalom, Awam, Ha'amarya, Ain, Ana, verse 17, Wayahayub, Hashamash, Ba'ahub, Wa'ai Taha, Hayuhub, Wahana, Danawar, Aishun, Walak Yada, Ash, Ashar, Ibar, Bayan, Agazar Yamah, Ha-Allah. Book of Genesis chapter 15, verse 11. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Let me go back to verse 10. Matter of fact, let me start at verse 9. And he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another. But the birds divided he not. The Lord told him to go do something, and he did. The Lord gave him instructions, and he went out to go do what the Lord instructed him to do. Why? Because he trusted in the Lord. He put his faith in the Lord. And because of that, the Lord is his shield and his buckler. We're going to tie everything together. Verse 11. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Here is what this is saying. This is what I want you to take from this small, it's such a small thing that you will overlook, that you would not think of. The Lord instructed him to do something. The Lord instructed him to serve him. The Lord instructed him to sacrifice these things. You got to sacrifice this. You got to sacrifice this. You got to get rid of this. You got to get rid of that. Abram did it unquestionable, without a doubt. Guess what happened? Fowls of the air, beasts on this earth, came down to try to get the carcass meat. The things that he sacrificed, the birds tried to come mess that up. What did Abram do? He drove them away. What am I telling you to do? For time's sake, there are going to be things in your life that you're going to sacrifice. Trust me, you're going to sacrifice a lot of things. You have to. Because this world is not even worth your presence, right? Because you're trying to build a better world. You're going to sacrifice things. You're going to get rid of things. And guess what? Fowls are going to come down to try to pick the meat off the plate that you put down. Fowls are going to try to come down and deter you. Fowls are going to try to come down and mess up what you laying down. You have to understand, you got to drive them away. You have to drive them away. People, you're going to overlook it and just see what he's doing, but you're not seeing this is your life. The Lord instructed you to do something, and people are going to come in there and try to mess you up from doing what you're supposed to do. And they're going to get in your way, and you have to drive them away. That goes back to what? To the first thing we brought out today. It's a battle. It's a war. There's a war between him and these five. There's a war between him serving the Lord and giving the Lord what he required, and somebody else trying to take it from him. Which one are you? You gonna not drive away, or you just gonna let the birds have it?
So like, if I could real quick, right? I know we talk a lot about sacrifice, right, school, right? Like, you read all about the Bible, plenty of brothers and sisters who have sacrificed a lot for the Lord. I know, okay, that word sacrifice, that word may scare some people, right? Because in your mind, you're thinking, oh, I gotta give up this, I gotta give up that. Really think of it like this. It shouldn't really be anything new to you because you're already sacrificing stuff. Right. Think about it. You in the world, you sacrificing your mental health because you want to be a whore. Literally. Like you want to feel good. You are sacrificing all your good years in your mental health for pleasure. A lot of you brothers are sacrificing your physical health. Y'all out here, look, y'all heard what's going on in Texas, right? Y'all out, the STD rate is on the rise because y'all just out here being nasty. Because what? You want pleasure. Right. You're sacrificing your physical health, which of course bleeds out to your mental health. You're sacrificing time.
Right.
You are, and it's no shade, like I get it. Like we all got a slave, we all gotta do what we gotta do in this world, right? But think about it, you're sacrificing your time and your money to go to college, right? To get a degree. And if you are able to get a good job and provide for your family after that, and most high in Christ, I applaud you. Sadly, we live in a day and age now where there's people who got a master's degree in something, and you working at Walmart, right? And it's not. And when I say that, I want y'all to understand. It's no disrespect. I'm not shading nobody, but that's the world that we live in now. You work all this time, pulled out all these student loans. Now you're in debt, and guess what? You did all that for what? To go work for somebody else? To be able to work paycheck to paycheck? To live in a one-bedroom, one-bathroom? I live in a one-bedroom. I'll be real with you, right? But that's what we have to do. We got to sacrifice. You think we want to go to our slaves? No. We complain about it all the time. I know what this brother got to go through now. I know your whole route. I know. He's gone most of the day. I'm out in the middle of the sun. It's 105 degrees outside. You think we want to do that? No, but we have to sacrifice. Why? Because we know that we have somebody that depends on us. We know that we have families that we got to provide for. We got to provide for ourselves, so on and so forth. So if you're able to do that, that's my whole point. Be able to do that in the world, it really shouldn't be that much harder to do it for the Lord. I pray you understand. That's all I got. You got anything before we continue?
Dr. One said, damn right, being alive is being in war. Can you give me a scripture of how prayer for a brother in that moment of trouble? Can you reword that? What you trying to say?
It's like, Yakuman, if you're still there, what is it that you're trying to ask?
Can you give me a scripture of how prayer for a brother, of a prayer for a brother in that moment of trouble? Oh. Matter of fact, Psalms 91. You want? I always have like certain prayers just lined up. Like when I'm asking the Lord for forgiveness, which I'm often doing, my go-to is Psalms 55. When I'm asking the Lord, to help me, and I need in times of my trouble, in times I need strength, Psalms 91. I brought it out earlier, man. He's my shield and my buckler. Those are songs and prayers by Solomon in Psalm. These are things that you're asking the Lord to do for you. Hey, I need you to help me out with this. I always start with Matthew 6. Even, dude, we got I'm gonna text you the PDF file of the prayers we have. The prayers that we throw up before class and after class, those are those prayers. Bless Israel. In your time of struggle, bless Israel is a prayer. We always come with Matthew 6. When Israel going through things and I see things happen, it's not for me to bring out Psalms 83. Psalms 83 reminds me of the enemies that I have that are against my people. Psalms 121. These are listen to don't just skip over the prayer part. In the morning, I'm not talking about you specifically, Yakuwan. Don't skip over the prayer part. These prayers are legit. These are actual prayers. Why do you think we say them as a nation, as a whole? Psalms 91, if you need strength and encouragement, I always say Psalms 91. Because that's what it lets me know, hey, if I keep serving the Lord, I'm going to be under his shadow. I know police is going to drive right past me and not pull me over. Because I'm under the shadow of the Lord. They're not even going to see me. I know I'm not worried about anything because he is my shield and my buckler. What does a buckler do? It's your belt buckle. What does your belt buckle do? It keeps your pants up on your waist. Why? So you can walk upright.
See, Kodash, if I may, sir, damn right, subject to payment and debt, just to still be oppressed. Yeah. Like that's all I was just trying to bring out, right? You already sacrificed stuff. Think about it. If you wasn't in school, you already sacrificed. You've been sacrificing since forever, since adulthood, probably before that, right? So you come into the school, we tell you, hey, you gotta sacrifice this. You gotta give up pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You gotta give up weed. You gotta give up drugs. If you're an alcoholic, you might want to child on that liquor. You gotta give up whores, right? You might want to start dealing with actual good women. All right, you might not know what a good woman is. Okay, that's fine. We'll teach you. We'll show you. Hell, there's examples of that in the school. All right. My point being is, you've already been sacrificing. So that word, that shouldn't scare you. I pray it don't scare you. It shouldn't, because you already were doing it. The only difference is now you're doing it for the Most High. Before you were sacrificing for yourself. Now you're doing it for a bigger cause. And the thing is, now you got somebody on your side, a power that you can't see or touch, but it's always over you, protecting you. You didn't have that before. You thought you did, right? But you don't. You sacrificed all that, and then it's like, what? What do you get from that? Some of y'all probably do got bread. There's plenty, like I said, I bring it up every class. There's celebrities, you got money, you got wealth, you got, you think power. You're able to travel around the world, and it sounds great. But you still work for somebody else. Right. You don't really have true freedom. Like Kanye West don't got true freedom. Right. Nick Cannon, what was it? This is old, but he started bringing out the history. He ain't saying nothing wrong. He started bringing out the history of the Jewish man. That's all he did. And guess what? He was deemed anti-Semitic, and they threatened to kick him off. He was about to take all his power away from him. So what he had to do? He had to issue out a public apology. Okay, it's all good now. Now you can go host some shows now. You can keep wilding out. You can do all that. As long as you shut the hell up. That's all.
That's it.
It's like
verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. That's what the Lord will talk to you in a deep sleep. You can go preach up there with Job, the 33rd chapter, and I believe 1 Samuel, the 3rd chapter, like verse 3 through 8, something like that. It'll show you how the Lord talks to a man in a deep sleep. All right, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. If you don't know, this talking about Egypt. And you remember earlier when I brought out, you have the cheat code to the game right here. We're lagging as a people. It's telling you everything that's going to go. How do we know we're in the last days? Christ spoke about it. How do we know that we're in the last days? It tells you there's going to be scoffers in the last. It lets you know what's going on in the last days. We've been in the last days really since Christ. We just wait. That's all we know. We just waiting on Christ's return. It's showing you and it's leading you up to what's going to happen. You start reading Revelation and breaking down the plagues. Those plagues are happening right now. Gas prices up. Food prices up. Why? Because there's a shortage of food. They have to go create food because there's a shortage of food. Why do I have to create food when the earth should be able to replenish everything I need? Yeah, you're not understanding it, and no one's teaching you that the plagues are happening right now in your face. World War III is happening right now. He telling you, hey, World War III come, I'm on my way. In the Valley of Jehoshaphat, in the Middle East, I'm going to send everybody to war, and in that time, I'm coming back. You should already be preparing yourself and prepping yourself for that. You should be prepping your family. I hate when my wife asks me a question I don't have an answer. I should have an answer. Why? Because I should be studying these scriptures, letting her know that this and that is going to happen. She might not know when it's going to happen. I might not know when it's going to happen. But trust me, it's happening. So what am I doing? I'm prepping myself. You like what the doomsday preppers? Yeah, you gotta be a prepper like that, but it's in the spirit.
Right.
They prepping thinking they gonna hide underground. No,
Oh, you're talking about the bunkers?
Yeah, buddy, that's not gonna work. It's not. It's because it's carnal. They put their trust in man. They put their trust in carnality. I don't have that option. There's no man that I can trust besides the men in one place. The men above me, the men below me, the men that are equal to me. There are no other people on this face of the earth that I can trust. God is the only person I can trust. He is my shield and my buckler. Every person in there puts their trust in the Lord. And guess what the Lord does? He saves them out of every single situation. I don't have to go build no doomsday bunker because I don't put my trust in that. It's like, okay. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Do you not know how we came out of Egypt? If you don't know, just to prove these things for you, I'm going to Exodus 3:21, right? And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourneth in her house jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians. This God told this to Abram. He said, hey, look, I'm going to afflict your children for 400 years from a nation that they're not going to know. But when they come up out of that affliction, I'm going to give them so much. What do you think we're doing? All that gold they hiding in them bunkers and down in Texas and wherever and underneath the ground, that's just for us. All them diamonds they got hidden, that's just for us. They don't even know. It's nothing for the Lord to take the spoil of a rich man and give it to a poor man. It's nothing for the Lord to take the spoils of Egypt and give it to the children of Israel. It's nothing for the Lord to take the spoils of Babylon and give it to the children of Israel. That's going to be easy money. It's easy money. Man, there's so much gold laid up in this earth that is for us, that the Lord is going to give to us. All you got to do is serve. All you got to do is do what he say do and swat the flies or fowls of the air that's trying to attack you. If I may, Exodus 12:35, just a few more precepts to prove that we left out of Egypt with a great stuff. I said, Exodus 12:35, and the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. I'm not done. Psalms 105:36-37, just to prove it again. It's easy. The book of Psalms, chapter 105, I said, verse 36. He smote also all the firstborn in their land, the chief of all their strength. He brought them forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among their tribe. Everybody will have it. Everybody will have it. Do you understand the power of the Lord? The Lord will let you build up your whole kingdom just so you can pass it on to another nation.
And that's righteous, if I could.
Yes.
Before we continue, I can be too long. It's pretty much the same thing. Like I want you to understand, like every brother in this school, we teach you the same thing over and over again. It's just many different precepts to teach you the same thing over and over again. That's all. This is a book of life. The Lord is literally teaching you how to live, right? Guess what? You're not living. You're alive, but you're not living. Not spiritually, you're not. Waking up every single day, working a 9 to 5 until you now apparently you're trying to make it to 70. Now you're retired when you're 70, you're already living your whole life there. All right, life expectancy after 65 is actually really low, especially for people like us because we live in harsh environments. The food quality isn't that great.
Right.
Like, So you probably might not even live long enough to retire. And then when you do, guess what? Nowadays you can't even comfortably retire because you still got bills you got to pay for. That ain't living. That's that. When you really lay out the American plan for the common citizen, come on, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like those people who are millionaires and billionaires, yeah, they're well off. They're fine, right? You and me, no. That don't sound like the American dream to me. That sounds like that sucks. That sucks.
It sucks.
That's not living. But the Lord can tell you how to live. The Lord can tell you how to manage through things, right? Imagine your life without drugs. Imagine your life if you're not out here sleeping with whores and you actually know, what, this is a good woman, but this is also a bad woman. Not bad as in she look good, bad as in like you shouldn't be messing with her.
Right.
And guess what? You like, nope, not gonna mess with her. Sisters, you know that you shouldn't be going out to the club by yourself with everything hanging out, sleeping with this dude, this dude. You shouldn't sit here and hate your man. I think not. What do they call it? America tries to breed. It's a word. Matriarchy. Oh yeah, they try to make that now. For those of y'all who don't know, matriarchy is just when it's the woman. She's the head of the house. Now that don't work for us. That may work for some other people. I don't know, but as a nation, it don't work for us. Guess what? We tried it. We've been trying it for actually a lot longer than you think. It don't work for us because guess what? Now you have a lot of young men who grow up feminine, right? Grow up emotional, who don't have self-discipline, and they will go out to the streets. There's brothers that I knew who came from a good home, supposedly, but there was no father there. They got all the toys they wanted, all the money they wanted, everything was cool. Guess what? They still went to the streets. Why? Because that's what they're used to. That's what they want to be. To them, that's cool. That's appealing. Right. And their mother could not stop. Right. For the sisters out there, you're being brainwashed to think that, oh, you don't need a man. Okay, hey, guess what? You can think that, but when you're 40 years old and alone, and now again, I said it earlier, you used up all your good years. Hey, I'm just keeping it real with you. Now you want to have kids. Now you want to do this. Now you want to do that. Now it's harder for you. Or you young. I see one. It's like that. Was it the 20v1 thing? It might have been that. But long story short, it was a woman. She was 21, I think, or 20. She had 7 baby daddies. How do you have 7 baby daddies at 20? How is that even possible?
That's got to cap.
You mean that hey, you must have been doing what she was listening to like 14. You had to. I mean, that's the only way I could. No, I don't know.
Well, I got 20.
No, so she got 7. She's like 20 or 22, 7 baby daddies, and I'm like,
what fool was the third?
But it sounds. My point is, it sounds insane. But now she's like, I need a good man. You have like not even about the same man. You have 7 baby fathers. I don't know how many kids she had. You said she could have had twins. I don't know. But that's your reality. Now you looking around like, why won't nobody take me? Because your track record is horrible. Horrible. No man want to deal with that. I mean, well, most men don't. So my point being is, we ain't trying to talk smack about y'all. Because we were ignorant too at one point. We had to get out of our own way of thinking. That's why the Lord said, don't lead us to your own way of thinking. It's like, well, lead us to your own understanding. Right. Because this is what you're supposed to do, and it works. You don't believe it? Okay. All the brothers who have stayed in this school, I'll tell you right now, look, one point in time, we ain't have ribs. Think about it. Bro, look, we are brothers will do what brothers do. We came in here, now we got wives that actually are loyal and actually love and stay with us. And we don't have to worry about them doing all the things that some of these other women do. That's crazy.
I'll tell you how else.
No, most high.
That's a peace of mind. The Lord gives you
peace of mind. Yes, peace of mind. Look, peace of mind go a long way.
A peace of mind is worth way more than money. Yeah, you gotta. I think about brothers. I ain't even cut you off. No, I think about 50 Cent, right? Yeah, and how brother rich, brother successful. Your older son hates you. Your baby mother putting your son against you. I think about so many brothers with money and how they look good. They can buy anything they want. If they can't buy a peace of mind, like you can't buy that. you got a woman, you got all this money, and you still can't buy loyalty from your woman. Like, do you understand that?
Money ain't gonna buy. You're right. Money don't buy loyalty.
It don't. Yeah, it don't buy loyalty.
Why we ain't got money?
What happens? She gonna go find another dude. She's always gonna look for that. She's always gonna go look for that.
She's loyal to the money. She's not loyal to you. And like you say, even your kids, think about it. If you're the type to, if you're rich and you're like just, you're trying to compensate your love and authority for your children with money, your children are gonna fall in love with money. That's what they cater to. But then money, like you said, money is tangible. That's it. When it's gone, what are you? There's rappers that have went bankrupt. Y'all understand that, right? That money can go. I think, what was it? Steve Harvey, I think. He like lost all his money, I think like in a divorce or something like that. But yeah. So my point is, hey, look, he had a divorce. I don't know how that went, but he had money. Now guess what?
No,
Gone.
because of what? Because you're a sinner. If you didn't choose right, you didn't know how to choose right. You didn't understand what right was. He couldn't teach his woman how to. Teaching your woman to serve the Lord is like the greatest thing you can do. Because she will understand. She will understand loyalty. She will understand what a marriage really is. You will understand what it is. You got to be an example of, I'm not going nowhere. You have to instill that in her brain that I'm not going anywhere. I'm not even thinking about doing that. Like, it's not even a thought to me to leave my woman. That's never came across my mind. I'm not leaving my woman. I'm not. Imagine them brothers out there in the world, and your woman knows that you don't need me. She's gonna leave you, but she's gonna leave
With the swiftness.
with the swift and have you feeling stupid. You got all that money, but you ain't got peace of mind. What's the purpose of it? It's like
Next one. Where we at?
14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with a great nation, with a great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. That's what happened to Abraham. He died at a good old age. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. What he's talking about with the Amorites is the Lord. Here's what the Lord will do. He sees you sinning, he'll let you build up the sin. It's a debt collector.
No,
It's like a loan shark on. It's like a loan shark on the streets. Hey, you want to gamble with us? I bet. He go 1,000. He go 5,000. He go 10,000. Next thing you know, you're 100,000 in the hole, and they want that money. They knew you weren't gonna pay that money. They knew you never had it. Your whole time you've been building up the debt, building up the debt, building up the debt. That you've been getting paid off of these drugs for free, building up the debt, building it up. Well, you keep laying that egg, it got to hatch. The roosters don't have to cluck in the morning. Trust me, God is coming. That's what he did to the Amorites. He let them build up. He let their sin build up. And guess what? Who destroyed them? He let us destroy them. He let us go take their land. Same thing with Babylon. He is letting Babylon build their sins up till it reach heaven. That's in the scriptures. Matter of fact, Revelation 18:4, so you don't think I'm just going to smoke I'm out behind. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plague. Verse 5, here's my point. For her sins have reached unto heaven. He kept building the heavens. They got a long list of sins, right? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double, according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled to her double. This is what the Lord does.
If I could,
Yes, sir.
I can name 2 accounts off the top of my head that's happened. Think about it, happened in the beginning of Genesis, when the iniquities of the world. Guess what? The Lord flooded the earth. Another time, which were maybe not next week, but the week after that, Sodom and Gomorrah. What happened? Those sins reached the Most High, like you said. It builds up And he knew. And guess what? Sodom and Gomorrah was burned down horribly because of the sins that were going on. Like you can't hide from God. You can't, like, just because you're in a room by yourself and no one else can see you. I can't see you.
Right.
The reason I was out is I can't see you. General behind me can't see you. Gavin Gadalhar can't see you. Babylon can't see you. Commander Jerry Han himself can't see you.
Right.
That don't mean nothing. God can see you. You don't think that's going to reflect in some way? Do you know that human beings are actually not programmed to lie? Yeah, I do. Like, I found that out.
That's
like,
right.
We're actually, like, when we lie,
You give up something.
you give off something. It's everybody. It could be a twitch. Maybe you break eye contact. Your voice get high pitched. Maybe you get fidgety. Right? Like, it could be anything. Everybody's different, right? We are not programmed to lie because that's not what the Lord wanted for us. All that stuff, like things that happen to you, are a reflection of yourself. You got to understand that, right? Everybody got to understand that things that happen to you are a reflection of yourself. The type of woman you deal with is a reflection of yourself. The type of man that you marry, sis, is a reflection of yourself. Your kids are a reflection of yourself. Your friend group, literally everything. So if your world is out of whack, and you thinking, I got all this money. I'm going to use Kanye again just as an example. Kanye rich. Guess what? That brother is doing horrible mentally. He's on and off medication. He's married. He knows he's an Israelite, and he's still messing with Edomites.
Right.
Like, he talked to Captain Zara. He got the breakdown. And he's still sleeping with heathen women. He just can't stop. And he's wondering, I don't know, he might be wondering, like, man, why don't nobody listen to me? Because some of the stuff he be saying is true.
Yeah.
He knows that the fake Jews are fake. Nobody want to listen to him. Why? Because he's a man in the world. You're a sinner. I don't want to take you seriously. That's why you're going through all the things you're going through now. Your mental health is in shambles. Because of what you do. You messing with these heathen, boorish women is a reflection of who you are. No matter how much you try to hide it. You can say you're Israelite. That's cool. Hey, look, there's bad Israelites. There's plenty of Israelites in the Bible who did horrible things. King Saul, one of them. I think he's probably one of the most famous ones. He was a horrible king. We tried to kill people. We tried to kill a man that served him.
Solomon's chill.
Like, come on, man. Like, that's just a few that I could think of. Like, Samson the Strong. Samson the Strong, hey, great brother, but he loved hoes. And he died because of it. So, hey, look, if you don't believe us, read the Bible. There's great men and women in here. There's also some men and women in here who are Israelites. They did things that were not okay by the Lord.
Right.
And they suffered consequences. So you don't think you're not going to suffer consequences? So I'm just trying to put that in your ear.
I mean, because they broke the commandments of the Lord, guess what the Lord was not to them? Their shield and their buckler. This is very simple. It's a very simple. This Bible is simple. It's not hard to understand. It's not through every class. Whatever we said at the beginning, whatever we keep talking, we can always refer back to whatever we said at the beginning. Because the Bible is just one big old circle. It's just one circle. Hey man, serve the Lord, you get life. You don't serve the Lord, you get death. That's it. You've been dying your whole life. Anyway, verse 17, and it came to pass that when the sun went, I'm in verse 18, so like, I know Hebrew. Genesis 15, verses 18 through Genesis 16 and 3 in the Hebrew. Mayawam, Hawa, Karath, Yahweh, Abaram, Barayah, La Amar, Lazawakai, Nadat, Ayah, Haratazah, Azah, Manahar, Matazawayam, Anahar, Anadal, Nahar, Karath, Akoyaya, Wa'af, Akonazayah, Wa'af, Aka'adyah, Wa'af, Aparzayah, Wa'af, Arpa'ayam, verse 21, Wa'af, Amoria, Wa'af, Akad, Nanya, Wa'af, Agar, Gashayah, Wa'af, Ayah, Bawasayah, verse chapter 16, Washaria, Ashah, Abaram, La'ar, Yalada, Lawa, Wala'ar, Shapaka'aha, Matazaraya, Washama, Agar, verse 2, Wata Amar, Sharia, Al Abaron, Ana, Na'a, Atazar, Naya, Yahweh, Maladah, Ba'a, Na'a, Al, Shapha, Ka'afya, Awalia, Abana, Amana, Waya, Shamahai, Abram, Lakwal, Sharia, verse 3, Wadah, Waka'a, Sharia, Ashab, Abaram, Hagar, Hamatazaraya, Shapah, Ka'atab, Bakfataza, Aishar, Shanyam, Lashabah, Abaram, Barabataza, Kanayna, Watatan, La Abaram, Ayasha, Lawan, La Asha. The book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 8. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenites. Now, these are, I like to touch on this part too, because this is just the Lord showing you the difference that He puts between us. Africans and Negroes in America and West Indians, we are not the same as those Africans. We are not the same as Hamites. We literally go to war with them every time. The whole time, we have always been at war with Hamites. We've always been at war. We took their land, which was originally our land. Why? You're not understanding the dynamic. That's why it's a separation between us. That's why you can't really come together with them. In their history, they know we're not them, and you should know that you're not them. Verse 18. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. These are Africans. These are Africans. These are Hamitic people. And we have to go to war with them to get our land. You're not understanding, again, what this Bible is about. It's about what? War. Whole Bible is about going to war. It's going to war to get what you want. If you're not willing to go to war, you're not willing to get what you need. You're not willing to get what you want. If you're not going to war for the Lord, you're not going to get the things that He has preserved for you. Christ said, in my house, there are many mansions. I want one of those mansions. So I have to go to war to get a mansion. I don't have a mansion here. That's okay. So I'm going to have many mansions in the kingdom. The book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 1. This is like Absalom's favorite subject. if you know him, like I know this is just like go to.
You say I have favorites. I have favorite.
We all do. This is what it is. Like he would break this down every week if he could. Probably. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children. And she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. Verse 3. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife.
So we'll just read the verse. We can finish up at verse 10.
Sure.
And the second time I'll try to just break it down.
Sure. All right, so book of Genesis, chapter 16, verses 4 through 10 in the Hebrew. Wayaba'a, Al, Hagar, Watahar, Watara, Haya, Arata, Watapal, Gawata, Bayana, Wayarada, Hayata, Al, Hapagaryam, Wayasha, Adam, Abarium, Wayahaya, Ashmash, Lakwa, Nutardama, Nakola, Al, Abarum, Wahana, Ayama, Kayasha, Gadaha, Wayamor, Labarum, Yadai, Kaya, Guard, Yahawa, Darakub, Baratazah, La'alahum, Wabadayamum, Wa'ainawa, Atham, Arabai, Mawa, Shana. Wagum Af Agawa, Ashar, Ya Ibadwa, the Na, Anakaya, Wakaraya, Kun, Katazawa, Barakashwa, Wada, Abawa, Al, Abatayakum, Abraham, Abram, Walawar, Rabbi Iwas I, Yashawabar, Hana, Ayala I, Shalom, Awan, Amarya I, Wayahaya, Ashamas, Baha, verse 10, Wa'ala, Ayaha, Wahana, Alawar, Ashan, Alataya, Ashar, Abar, Bayah. The book of Genesis, chapter 16, verses 4 through 10 in the English. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between me and thee.
So, okay, you got to see what's going on here. I'll give you the brief version, right? So, I said earlier that one of the main obstacles that Sarai and Abram had to face was the fact that they could not have children for a very long time. By the time their names end up changing, they get their Hebrew names, I believe 92 and
So
they were in their 90s. They were in their, yeah, I think. Most people don't live that long, right? They were old, real old. No kids. Think about that, right? So Sarai, like I said earlier, she loved Abram so much. She looked at it like, hey, look, I want you to have kids. I want you to have a son. I can't give you a son. So she said, you know what? Just go on to my handmaid. That way you can have a son. Now, despite the fact that she told him to do that, and he did, she was still upset.
Right.
Why was she still upset? It's pretty simple. Of course she's gonna be upset. It's his wife. Why would she? Of course she is. On top of the fact that it wasn't her that was able to give him the child. Right. She was upset, right? Now we're gonna read. I think if we get to the part where it says who it was, I'm not gonna give it away just yet. You can continue.
Verse 6. But Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. Verse 7. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, return to thy mistress and submit thyself under her hands.
All right, so what ended? Oh, sorry.
Verse 10.
And
the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude.
All right, so just to give you the quick description of this, let's talk about Ishmael. All right, so the child that ended up coming out of the consummation of Abram and Hagar was Ishmael. Now, the Lord did promise that there was going to be an inheritance that comes out of his own bowels. Ishmael is a relative. I mean, it's Shem.
Yeah.
Now, it was stated that even though that Ishmael's not God's chosen people, but it was still said like, hey, you're going to multiply. Why? Bring it back because it was told that Abraham, your seed is going to multiply upon the face of the earth. That didn't just mean us. That meant everybody that comes out of Abraham. All right. So just in case, like some people get kind of confused, like if we're God's chosen people, then why was Ishmael given a blessing? Well, that's because that was the blessing that Abraham was promised. That was already put into accord. However, despite that, Ishmael was not the favorite. That still wasn't, like, you read the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Abraham and Ishmael, all right?
And whoever is
pretty much, yeah. So they have their blessing. We'll get more into, eventually we'll get to Isaac and all that later. But that's the brief description. We'll finish that up next week's class, all right? With that being said, wow for everybody that tuned in. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll close out with the prayers. With that being said, sir. My job is to stand, rise, we can here.
Layashala, which means to Israel.
Men of Israel.
Majah Hapayah Hakudam.
Not yet, it's like that. Gird thy loins, prepare to store.
You there.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barak Yah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barak Yah. Majah Hapayah Hakudam, which means to rise and face the east. We're doing the prayers. We close out the class in the Hebrew and the English. The Lord's Prayer. Abanaw. Now, Bashamayim, Madash, Ayah, Somka, Yahweh, Balawata, Taba'a, Azaka, Ayah, Aisha, Barataza, Awa, Ayah, Bashamayim. Adana, Come, call, come on. What's luck now? What's now? That's a luck now. What's now? Wala, Abiyah, Saiwan, Abal, Abshina, Mayan, right, Ayah, the Cup, Abalawat, Amata, Awa, who's like Lawalan, what? Like Aman.
Now the English, our Father, join him. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, he will come. Will be done. Will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and give us our debts. Give us the Torah. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us evil. Thine is the kingdom and power and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. How? Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shah, now in the English, Yahweh, the name of Yahweh, please, give us power. Give us the power. Here, power to heal. All man of sickness. All man of disease. All man of disease. Power to left. Power to cleanse the left. Power to raise the dead. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirit. Cast them out. Cast them out. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be. This is blessed Israel. Yahweh. Hashem. Yahweh. Barak Manah. Wayashal. Waha. Wayah. Zaphorius. Barak. Hashem. Yahweh. Amen. Said was Lord,
in
the name of Yahweh, bless us and Israel,
in the school,
in the name of Yahweh.
Thank you. So be. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. I said, Ayanya, all, Ahoyim, Bayan, Yaba'a, Zoya, Ma'ain, Yahweh, Yeshua, Shamayim, Baratazah, Ayatan, Namawat, God, Ayanawan, Shamar, Alana, Na'a, Alawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shawamar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamar, Yahweh, Azar, Ayah, Yahika, Yawamam, Ashamash, Na'a, Yahika, Yahweh, 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 Shamar, Akal, Yashamar, Pasha, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazah, Wadan, I will love.
Now in English, I will lift up my eyes into the hill.
What's coming by help? My help coming from the Lord. Straight heaven and earth. Even thyself without foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold. He that keepeth Israel. So that slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade. The Lord is thy shade. Upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. This time forth, and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Dam Yalaka, Al-Taka Arash, Al-Tashakwat, Al-Ayahana, Al-Yakyaka, Yahamaya 1, Al-Ash, Al-Ainu, Yahweh, Sawadah, Wayata, Yatazawa, Al-Tazawani, Amar, Nakawa, Walakakim, Wala, Wala, Azakar, Shamyasha, Shalada, Ayah, Yawatazawa, Alaba, Mahad, Ayuka, Arya, Yakawatma, Ahoy, Adawan, Wayashima, Aliyam, Mawab, Aryam, Gabal, Mawab 1, Wabalak, Alasha, Aisha, Tazawar, Mashawan, Nalawa, Ivan, Iowa, Larawa, Bunya, Salak, Salah, Aisha, the Hum, the Michael, Asaya, Sarah, Yahya, Mother Call, Yashua, Nashawa, Bayan, Nara, Iowa, Laman, Ladama, Shadamu, Nada, Yawa, Kaira, Kazaba, Kazaba, Kazama, Carl, that's Yakuma, Short, Marlow, Narasha, Nalawa, Waha, Nawa, Alahaya, Alahaya, Shayatamo, all the Wash, Lapunya, Rock out, the Ash, Iron, Wah, Alaba, Alahat, Ayam, Hud, Nawadapa, Mas Iron, Wapsa, Wapata, Navalum, Malan, Yahum, Palawan, Wayam, Quash, Shumka, Yahweh, Yabashu, Wayam, Wahao, Ayah, Wayam, the Paul, Wayam, Abad, Wayam, Nawa, Hayam, Uther, Shumka, Yahweh, the Baka, Ayman, Alaka,
Psalms 83. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
Be not still.
Be not still, O God, for the low, thine enemies, make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy enemies. They have said, come,
Let us cut them off.
and let us cut them off.
Being a nation.
Being a nation, the name Israel,
No more
maybe no one remember.
They have
They have consulted together,
1%.
1%.
They have confederate against
They have confederate against
the
the
tabernacle of
tabernacle of Eden,
the
and
Ishmaelites,
Ishmaelites,
Moab,
Moab,
the
and Hagarines,
Baal,
the Baal,
and
and Ammon,
Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
the inhabitants of Tyre,
the inhabitants of Tyre.
so also was wrong with
So also joined with them.
They have opened the church of
They have
God.
opened the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah.
you want to them,
You unto them,
as to the media,
as to the Midianites,
as to Sarah,
as to Syria,
as to Jabez,
as to Jabez,
the brook
as the brook of the sun.
Perish that endure.
Spirits that endure.
Became as done for her.
It became as dung for the earth.
Make the nose like a red.
Make the nose like a red,
Like Zee,
and like Zaid,
yea, all the princes,
all the princes,
as a body,
as a body,
as a
and as a moon.
who said,
Who said,
let's take
let us take ourselves,
God,
out of God,
in
in
possession.
possession.
Oh my
Oh
God,
my God,
make them
make them like
like a
a wheel,
something for
like stuff before the wind.
fire burn the
When
wood,
the fire burns the wood,
let the flames of the
then
mountain
the
fire.
flames of the mountain on fire. So persecute them
With thy temper,
with thy temper.
make them afraid,
Make them afraid
with thy storm,
with thy storm.
with the face of shame,
In the face of shame,
and see thy
that
name,
they may seek thy name,
O Lord.
O Lord.
be confounded,
Let them be confounded
in trouble,
and troubled forever.
yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame,
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish.
and may know
And men may know
that thou,
that thou,
name
whose
alone,
name alone
is
is
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
most
art
high,
the most high
order
of all earth. The blessings in the Hebrew. Wakata Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ka'ala, Wa Alahayim, Mataz Ya'ah, Alawak Yahala, Alawak Yahala, Surrender, Hasa Zion, Hasa Yayon, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Amen.
down in English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Mike.
And Mike.
Angels.
And angels.
Manager Yahweh.
Manager Yahweh.
Generals.
Generals,
Captains.
officers,
Troopers. And assistants.
and assistants.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name
In
of
the
Yahushua.
name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
With that, let's dismiss.